All right, Kristina Hart, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First thing I want to ask you, or first thing I want to tell you is that you look amazing for 73.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's already hitting on me so soon in the show.
No, I got to keep it professional, but for 73, you could have fooled me.
I know. That was so funny.
So Joe, I don't know if you saw, but she...
no, I'm out of the loop here.
When you Google Kristina Hart, apparently she's 73 years old, according to Google. So.
My photo comes up, which I was like, oh, wow. But then it says 73 years old, and it's like some director or someone.
Oh, so it's not you?
No.
But her photo pops up.
But
so.
my photo pops
your
up.
photo with somebody else's information.
Well, my friend, she's a musician, and she was trying to set me up with someone, and she's like, how old are you? And I didn't respond because it was like I didn't see it. And so she Googled Kristina Hart age. And my photo came up and it said 73 years old. And she's like, I don't know if this is right. I was like, I look really good for my age.
Is that a thing in like the Persian genetics?
Looking good for your age?
Yeah, like do you age really well?
Yeah, I mean, like a Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I feel like Persians have it down pat with the skin products and
Yes.
keeping themselves well kept.
Yes, the plastic surgery whole thing.
All right, so first thing I want to ask you, let's jump right into the dating stuff.
Okay.
So you've lived in Nashville for, what, a year and a half?
About a year and a half, a little less than that, yeah.
Okay, what are the biggest differences in the dating pool / dating world between Los Angeles and Nashville?
So people in Nashville, they're either married with multiple children at my age, or they're so single that the men are called Peter Pans.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah. Here, I feel like everyone is single, but has no idea what they're doing, like doesn't really have a job. There, they'll have a job or they'll be a musician or a songwriter, and they'll secretly be very rich but look homeless, which is like the songwriter thing. Or yeah, they have multiple children. So you kind of don't know when you meet someone which side they're on. Obviously, if they have a ring, but it's just, yeah, it's fascinating.
And when you say at your age, how old are you actually?
I'm 36.
36. Okay, I'm 35. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
now
we look great.
Well, I was going to say, so 36, how is 36 stack up in Nashville? Like 36 is so young in LA.
Right.
Small town, like where we're from. If you're 36 and you're not married with kids, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
what the fuck are you
Something's wrong
doing?
with you.
Totally. That's why I decided to get famous, because I was like, this is my one option, you know? Well, I was raised in church. I started off writing and blogging about church dating, and I talked about this. And I make a joke that we were all raised in purity culture, so a lot of us just were 10 years behind. We didn't know what we were doing. We're now just learning. So yeah, you either have 3 children but there's a lot of people in Nashville that are my age and single, so I think that we're all kind of together in it.
Yeah.
So it's not weird anymore. I think it can be if you get in your head, but I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. So all my married friends here, they're like, we wish we were single.
Yeah, we get that a lot. I hear that a lot too from married friends.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear more about being raised in purity culture, because like, you know, I obviously did a little background on you, and I read that, and it's fascinating, but I really don't know anything about it beyond the few little things I read. So like, were you in like a real like intense community of that, where it's like brainwashed from, you know, I don't know if brainwashed is the right word, but from day one?
Yeah, I mean, I went to UC Santa Barbara, so I also, I didn't go to like Christian college or anything, where some people who did, they really didn't have their first kiss or anything until like 25. Where for me, I was raised, my mom converted to Pentecostalism. So it was like, I read a book called I Kissed Dating Goodbye, and it was about how dating, like we're not supposed to date, we're supposed to court men, and you're supposed to wait for a guy to basically court you. So we're just waiting and waiting.
And now, are you first generation like Persian? Like from Iran?
I was born in LA, so my parents were both born in Iran. So yeah, I was born here, very American.
Okay.
My family is very Persian, but I don't have the thing where I live at home until I'm married. However, the Christian side, it's like I went to Christian camp, and if you had a guy in your room, and this is at age 24 years old, which is weird to say Christian camp.
Yeah.
It was like a seminary, but I call it camp because it was like, it felt like that. It's funny trying to explain this actually, because it sounds insane.
But Maybe it is, but maybe it's not, because we're from. I'm from like the Roman Catholic. Like I was very Roman Catholic, right?
Okay.
And as you get out into the world, into New York and LA and like big cities where everyone's kind of diverse and they're not really honed into religion or something like that. Mm-hmm. I can relate. Like growing up where we had to do certain things on certain days because that's what the Bible said.
Yes.
I'd be like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And as you get older, you look back and it's like, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I couldn't be in a room with two men, which I'm also breaking this rule. At the same time, it's called the Billy Graham rule. Like you're not supposed to be alone with men, as if like men are going to pounce on you. So I couldn't like show my shoulders. If I had a guy, like as an adult, okay, like I went to UCSB and then I did a seminary school in London. And in that school, I dated a guy who was 30 years old and I was not allowed to have him in my room with the door closed.
And these are school rules.
School rules.
Wow.
Stuff like that. And so then we all got out of it. And I was, I went to Santa Barbara. So I had experiences in Santa Barbara, but I also always felt really guilty because it's kind of like you're not even supposed to kiss before you're married was the mentality. So then I go to Santa Barbara and I have all these first experiences and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible Christian.
Do you feel like having those parameters around you your whole life made you lash out more when those opportunities came out? Like, oh, I've been suppressed thinking this way. Now I'm going to kiss somebody. I need to just go a little crazy.
Yeah. Well, I also had no idea what I was doing. And I was also drinking. So yes, to all the above. And, but I know people who got married at 19 and 20, had 2 children, are divorced, and are now having that phase. Right. So I'm very happy that I had that phase younger. Bless them. Like, more power to you. But it's like, I'm really happy I didn't marry somebody. And like, I don't know where I'd be now. I'd probably be divorced,
Yeah. And I think like what we said earlier about the married people wish they were single, the single people wish they were married. And I think...
Not me. At least not right now.
Right.
But.
I think people just don't know what they want and think it's always better being on the other side when you should just go make which feels right to you.
Yeah,
that's really
exactly.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say it was USB? UCSB.
Yeah.
There we go. Would you say that is what kind of opened your eyes? Like when you growing up in this world, did you watch certain movies or shows that like made you think about like, oh, I kind of want to see what else is out there? Or was it not until college that you figured it out?
I watched Dawson's Creek and I wasn't allowed to. And so I secretly watched it. And I still do. Like I still watch it because I'm like, this was my show. Yeah, and you're just like trying to connect with another world that you realize exists, I guess you could say. And so then when I went to Santa Barbara, I didn't have any of the church community that I was raised in, And my parents, because they're Persian, they have a big emphasis on education. So going to college, a non-Christian college, like going to Christian college wasn't even a thought process because it was like, you have to go to the best school and you have to,
Yeah. Now, did they have say on where you went to college? Like, were they trying to fight you on that?
Yeah. So my dad wanted me to go to Berkeley, and to this day, still can't believe I didn't go there. But I'm more of a Santa Barbara person. Like, I'm really happy I went to UCSB. I'm still friends with everyone there. But yeah, absolutely. And he wanted me to go to Berkeley, and I was like, I don't want to.
So now when you go home for family dinners and stuff, is everyone like, oh, Kristina, like, when are you going to get married? What's going on?
Yeah.
What are you doing with your life?
They used to, my aunt definitely, because she makes a joke. I have a cousin I'm close with and we're both not married. And my younger brother just got married and he's 26 or 27. So so everyone's really proud of him. My aunt always gives us a hard time as a joke, but now I'm like, well, I'm mildly famous on the internet for being single, so at least I did something with it. And she's like, okay. But she told me, I just want whatever makes you happy. That's what you should do in life. And
I think that should be for everybody.
And I think that's great that I have her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things too, like when you do something that's non-traditional, whether it be internet or in your case, stepping out of the religion, but like, it's not until you see someone having like a little bit of success and happiness that you can kind of understand what they do. Like for like my dad, when I tell him what we're doing with the app, like he just doesn't really get it.
Right.
Because he knows a little bit about it, but like he doesn't really know what like trying to make stuff happen on YouTube or Instagram is. And like, so it's not until I think you get like a certain level of success where they can actually tangibly see it and relate to that generation, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny trying to explain what I do to my dad. Like the rehab, the counseling job is really easy to explain, but my dad is amazing. I have an amazing dad who supports me and everything. My mom passed away 9 years ago, but my dad, thank you. My dad, he loves it. He loves that I
saw him in one of your TikToks.
Oh yes, you did see him. So he's like a Buddhist scientist. So
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
How does that work?
He's really smart. He like
I thought it
things.
was like Christian Science.
No,
it was like
he's not.
He's a Buddhist and a scientist.
Yeah, he thinks that world is nuts. Basically, he appreciates the Bible stories, but he thinks that the institution. He has always thought that there's corruption in it. So he's now.
I think most smart people.
Yeah, right.
Catch on
like
to that as they
especially
get
now,
older.
like if you just turn the news on. So he's very proud of me standing up for things or whatever it is I do. Yeah.
That's great. That's nice to have a supportive dad like that, especially when you're going against, what percentage of like people that you grew up with would you say stuck with that community in that world or have since like, left and totally went the other way?
I think the pandemic and the election really brought that to light. So it's very hard split, and the people who left, they left under traumatic situations where they were, dedicated their whole life to this church work or nonprofit work or whatever it is. And then the, leaders of an organization, they were cheating on their wives, or they were, submission is a big thing. So women submitting to men in marriage or to leadership. That was like what I was taught is the right way. But thankfully, I had parents who didn't actually think like that because they're Persian. So they came from a very oppressive government. So my dad was always like, you stand up to, Mm-hmm. But in that world, that was very much taught. And then these men ended up being like abusive or getting caught in some kind of scandal. Or they're like, if you don't vote for Trump, you're not a Christian. So a lot of people ended up getting hurt. A lot of people left. They didn't know what they're doing, where they went. And then other people were like, if you leave, you're not dedicated to Christianity or to the church. And so a lot of people stayed, which people also stayed because they're not all corrupt, course, obviously. Yeah. And so, but also I have friends who are like women of color, Black, and they had really just not great experiences, or then the pandemic with the vaccines. So just all encompassing, I think that kind of is what brought the split now, kind of.
Sure. Yeah.
So your dad seems to be more forward for, an Iranian. Did he come after or before the revolution?
He went to England first, and then
prior to 79?
In 79.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they went to,
I know, history buff over
I know.
A little history
This
buff.
guy.
I was like, oh, we're just going to talk about my dates.
I think he's got it written on his hand.
And he's like,
79
so
on
your
his hand.
father, the revolutionist. No. So they went to London, and then they went to Nacogdoches, Texas, which is wild to me now.
Never heard of that place.
I know.
Nacogdoches.
It's a tiny little town in Texas. And then they came to Los Angeles. So I'm not sure. I think just growing up, like he just is very progressive. Yeah, you could say. Yeah. So, and he gets hit on more than I do. So like my father is widowed, right?
So do we need dad to get on the app?
Get him on the
So
app, please?
I know, no, honestly.
We need
so
some
I go
dilfs
to like
on there.
Orange Theory to work out, and he's next to me, and I'll be on the treadmills with him, and then I'll get off, and a woman will come and take my spot, and I will watch her flirt
Can we
with
get a
him.
picture of dad?
I saw him shirtless in
I
that
haven't seen
TikTok.
it. I wanna see.
He was glistening. He had a nice
I
pump
need to
going.
see.
Yeah, on the
Fine.
beach.
I'm envisioning.
Okay, let me try to find.
He's a dilf. He's
Yeah?
definitely
He's a dilf.
I would.
Oh yeah. Let's see if it loads.
Yeah, he's
I
sexy.
see it. I see it.
He's real sexy.
I love that you.
He's got the
I
salt
could
and pepper
I was
thing.
gonna say
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could see him in a Hallmark movie being
yeah.
like the hot guy that moves to town.
He's got like a Clooney-esque.
He does.
He does.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, he aged really well
He
too.
did, yeah. So he's what, like 180?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. So we, like, his therapist and my therapist are both talking about us like putting ourselves out there, like me not on the internet, me in person. And I'm like, I cannot believe I'm at this place in my life where my dad and I are like getting given the same advice about dating.
That's pretty cool though.
I know.
To experience such a unique situation with your dad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So I guess going back to what we were talking about before, like I think the extremists kind of ruin everything.
Yeah, man.
And I knew, like I was raised in the same neighborhood as Joe, so we had very similar. We went to the same high school, similar
okay.
experiences. So I don't know about you, but we went to what was called CCD. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yes.
Where you go like you go to public
Yeah.
school, but once a week you go to the church and take a religion class. You do that?
I was in Catholic school, so
Oh, you were in- okay.
I had that all day.
So I knew from like
So we're
third-
all just breaking the rules right
from
here.
well, no. From third grade, I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
The most painful experience of my life was one of the best. So we had to go to church every week, and I think it was one of those things, like kind of like a generational. Like our grandparents were super into it, so my parents felt that they had the pressure to like put us in CCD, make us go
Yeah.
to church every week. We'd go on the holidays. And I remember the only time I was ever able to get out of going to church was when I got my penis stuck in my zipper by accident. And it was so painful. And it was a disaster of a situation.
That's a
I
big
don't wish
sacrifice
it
for,
on
like,
my
going to
worst
church.
enemy, but yeah, I got to stay home from church.
So you got
Got
circumcised
to order a
twice.
pizza. Yes, exactly. Got to order a pizza. My brother hated me that I got to stay home from church.
Third
But-
grade's young too to get the exemption.
And you're like,
yeah,
that
it was amazing.
And then I
yeah,
never went
it
back.
was that was like my moment where I was like, I got to get out of this, and I need to find other methods to get out of going
Yeah,
to church.
yeah.
But like, I know I never want to go back. It took me another couple of years to get out of it, but
Yeah.
I made it. I made it.
It's crazy that so many people had different experiences growing up. And yeah, it's fascinating, everybody's story. I mean, that may take the cake. It's the most interesting, but
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it on purpose, but
Yeah.
it worked. It got me out of that. So you said you recently got back on Hinge. Is that right?
so I got back on Hinge.
For the jokes.
For the jokes.
Okay.
Yeah. I got back on Hinge because I haven't been on dating apps in 7 years. So
But so prior to the 7 years you were on, and then took a 7-year hiatus.
yeah, so I mean, I'll just be honest. So I went on them like 7 years ago, and I would just date a hot guy. Like I wasn't really using it.
What's a hot guy to you? When you say hot guy, what does that mean?
Looks like your dad, kind of thing.
Oh, that would be so bad. But well, now now I'm kind of dating like a dad, which now I'm thinking about how weird that is. Well, he's like, no, he's only like,
What do you mean kind of a dad?
What do you mean, kind of dating him?
I don't even know.
There's a lot of kindness
I'm
in that
gonna
that are
start
intriguing.
blushing. No, I went on a few dates with a dad who like has a teenage young girl.
Okay.
And but it's just funny because we call him a zaddy.
A zaddy?
Like a hot dad is a zaddy. Have
Why?
you heard of that?
Yeah.
I have not. Why?
I don't know.
It's just like a
actually.
slang
it's just
term
like a
for it, yeah.
term.
A zaddy.
But I was like, oh, I could be a stepmom of America is how I
Yes.
feel. But anyways, what was your question? Hinge. Okay,
Yeah.
so
and his question was, what's a hot guy?
what's a hot guy? Is not holding a fish in the.
That
That's
must
like
be
the
tough in Nashville,
That's
though.
the universal thing.
I feel like there's got to be a lot of fish in Nashville.
A lot of fish.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fish. There's a lot of weird.
It's like here, it's someone leaning against a Lamborghini, and in Nashville,
Yes.
it's someone
How did the
holding a
fish picture become a thing? Because every woman says the same thing. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just people started making fun of it. I always like surfer guys, so I would just there was like a hot guy. To me, was like standing with his shirt off with a surfboard, and I was like, "This seems like the appropriate man to date." And so then, that's how I used the dating apps then, and obviously those didn't really work out like long term.
okay.
And then I dated other people. I dated a pastor.
Biebers.
No, but
That guy is a fucking
Which-
menace to society.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The one.
It's like I'm like, oh, which one?
I mean,
Name
he walks
them.
around like shirtless with his
Oh,
pants down, like
yeah.
below his pubic region.
Right,
Yeah. What's his name?
Carl Lenz.
Yes, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Diplo.
So
he looks like Diplo.
He does look like Diplo.
Yeah.
He also
he makes Diplo look like a
Yeah.
man of the church,
Yeah.
right?
He also
That guy's
like
a fuck-
left Instagram like a few years
because
ago
he cheated on his wife, I
for
think.
scandal.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like down the line, I feel like. But yeah, so then I got back on Hinge, which I hadn't been on it all these years, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go on it and I'm going to do like a mini documentary of my experience and I'm going to post about it. And people didn't expect me to post the actual men, but I put in my profile, like, I'm going to use this as stand-up content. So swipe at your own risk. And they loved it because everyone is mildly narcissistic.
Yes.
So I would just post and be like, oh, this guy, like, I don't like the way this guy's name is spelled. I don't like that, just joking, whatever. And then I'm like, and do you guys know who Dave Ramsey is? The financial guy?
Yes, and I saw that you have
Okay.
beef with him.
So
Maybe he has beef with you. Is a better
well,
way to say
yeah,
it.
I called him the Grinch once on Twitter because
So you met on Hinge with this guy?
no, he runs this big financial institution thing, like at financial advising, but he's very like Christian, but
Okay.
so like we can have credit cards because that's bad. So that was like but he's huge. He has like a cult following, and he blocked me because Christmas 2020, drank a glass of wine, tweeted out, was like, who reminds me of the Grinch? Dave Ramsey. Next day, I'm like, oh my God, he blocked me. And it's just a funny thing to be blocked by Dave Ramsey because
For sure.
like, especially being like just this
I feel
random
honored
single
that
girl.
someone
Yeah.
so successful and high took the liberty
Yeah,
in their
right?
life to block you.
So then Hinge was like, you're most compatible with this guy. And they randomly, and someone commented on Instagram and said, that guy works for Dave Ramsey.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, we're absolutely not the most obviously compatible. Like, so stuff like that. So I did that on Hinge.
But did you pursue that at all? Did you
No,
for the content?
no, but I get a lot of matches because people love to comment because I tell that story or like I have a little blurb about it. And people will have very strong opinions because everyone there knows who he is because he lives there too. In Nashville.
Gotcha. But wait, how does Hinge work where you get like suggested?
I think
Yeah.
you get one a day, right? Most compatible. You get like one most compatible every day.
Apparently, I was on a page that's like a special page where they highlight people. And I don't know if they knew what I was doing or what, but it's like not a rose. It's like, and from there, they announce who your most, or actually, you know what? Maybe it's something else.
No, I think
He's like,
that,
I know.
Market research.
Yeah.
yeah, this what they've changed in the last year or so after I've stopped researching. But from when I used it, the algorithm would know the types of people you like,
Yeah.
and then every day it would give you like your most compatible based off of what you liked and what they liked. And
Yeah.
usually it was pretty spot on.
I mean, mine was all over the place.
Really? Well, that's maybe because you were just jumping around with what you were liking for the content.
Right. No, I was talking to people. I was trying. I wish yesterday I just deleted it because I'm now going to do it with Bumble. And I wish I kept it because then we could just like look at it right now. That would be a great
That's
idea.
the point of the app, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have it on the phone right now.
No, I just deleted it.
That's the point of the app,
I know.
right? The app that's meant to be deleted.
Yeah.
Because it sucks.
you
Is
go.
that what they say?
Because it sucks.
I don't know. That's what I heard.
But
I don't
That's
use it.
to be
right.
clear,
Yes.
since we're on the First Rounds on Me podcast, you don't like Hinge and Bumble. You're just doing it. To
I
make
was
fun
like,
of
I
them.
know people who got married
And divorced.
and divorced too. Exactly. Because everyone's like, oh, everyone gets married. Like they give you statistic. This many people met on this dating app. And you're like, how many of them stayed married is
Yeah.
my question, right? Not to say that with, I know where you're, but it's because there's no like incentive to meet, right? Like, so it just feels people aren't getting to know each other organically almost. I
Right.
don't know.
Well, yeah. Also, that's the thing. Like, there's plenty of studies out there now that basically say that the number one reason people will get connected through apps is because of looks, right? And that is the number. That is the least important reason for a relationship to last.
Yeah.
Right? So it's completely like fucking up relationships from the
Totally.
start because people just base it off looks and physical attraction.
Right.
And for long-term sustainability, like the looks are the least important. So I don't know. That maybe you got to change your strategy up a little bit.
I know. I got to strategize with From. I'll use it. I'm going to download it here because now I can.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use it here.
And
Wait.
Nashville's coming soon anyway. So
Wait, why don't we
Okay.
do a little test here?
Okay.
Why don't you download it right now
I think I download. Let me.
and then show us the first guy's profile that comes up, and
Okay.
we'll do a little analyzation of it.
Okay, great.
Do you have any good, bad date experiences of recent, or even good, great date experiences, stories?
Yeah. So I went on a date with a guy.
Not the dad. Someone
Not
else.
the dad.
And also,
zaddy.
do you the zaddy? Yeah. Do you
Zaddy.
date multiple people at once, or do you date one person at a time and see it through, and then move on to the next person?
I mean, I think you could date multiple people at once. I personally just feel like tired. So I don't know how guys do it where they have multiple women, because I'm like, that's a lot of energy to me. But yeah, I mean, if I like two guys, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah,
But
I
if
think
you're
that's-
like, it's just like communication. So if you're honest.
Yeah, but I think that's why the apps get overwhelming, is because sometimes people are talking to 10, 20, like 30 people at once. And
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the energy it takes to do
No,
that.
I know.
Yeah, and then it's expensive as fuck too, especially in LA. Like to go get a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
drinks.
Oh yeah. As a guy, because.
We're trying to court over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to. Okay, wait. Let me tell you the story real quick of the worst
Yeah,
date.
please.
Okay.
We're all ears for this one.
So now you understand my dating background, didn't have a lot of experience. I go on a date with this guy from the dating app, and he like asked, we were like eating burgers, and
It's a great
I was
date.
like eating a French fry, and he's like, do you like choking? And I was like, in my head, I thought that was like a food.
How old are you? When this
I'm
happened?
like 20. I'm like 20.
Oh, this is a while
21.
ago.
Yeah.
So you met him on what then? Back
On
in
a dating app.
Which one? Because
I don't even remember. It was
Okay.
like
Oh, it had to
Tinder
be
maybe,
early
or like
days.
No, it had to be like
maybe I was
J-Date
21
or
or 2.
Match or Plenty of
okay,
Fish.
Cupid.
I'm just curious.
Okay
'cause there was
Cupid
a-
and
Maybe
Plenty of
okay,
Fish.
or Match or something.
and
Maybe
just
it was
curious.
Match.
Okay.
Maybe I was like 22.
Okay.
But I was living in LA, so it was like after college. Oh yeah, so then I wasn't 20. I graduated 21.
That was a bad question by me.
No.
The story
No,
was
it's
great.
good.
The story was great.
And so I was like, oh, like I legitimately didn't know what he was talking about because I had not had that experience. And so I was like, what? And then,
So wait,
yeah.
even if you did have the experience, so you guys were eating burgers,
Well, yeah, I
had a
mean,
fry,
fair enough. Right.
and he out of nowhere just said, "Do you like choking?"
Yeah. And I'm like, do I give off the vibe where you can just ask that?
Yeah, like, even if you knew exactly what he was talking about,
Right.
that's still
But
like a
that's what
gnarly
happens
thing
when
to
you
say.
choose a guy based on being hot with a surfboard.
But he was talking about choking during sex.
Yeah.
For the record.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because you said it was as
Yes,
you bit
I
your
later
fry.
found out absolutely that was what he was talking
Okay.
about. And that was
Because I thought
definitely-
maybe you were eating really fast and he was concerned about.
choking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's no, but that is not what he meant.
Okay.
I know that's.
So how did you answer that? How did you respond?
I just didn't know what he was talking about, and then I
and
asked
he let it
him.
go away. Like,
No, I asked him.
and he explained.
Yeah, that's what it was a bad
Wow.
date.
Did
It was
you
like-
start to blush and like?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I haven't had that experience.
You know he's not into foreplay in any way. He just goes straight for the choke probably every time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then I found out he was. Yeah. Just kidding.
I'm sure in the Persian life, you know, the old school women would be like, "Of course, yeah, submission, choking,
Yeah, right.
you should love that."
Exactly. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to. Needless to say, that didn't work out, but maybe more power.
Better
to him.
question: how was the burger?
The
Did you
burger
remember?
was great. It was like Burger Lounge or something in Brentwood.
I never.
It was like,
I never heard
yeah,
of
I don't
that
even know if it's still there. I'm still trying to download this app. Yeah. So
All right. So what is a great first date for you? What would you love to do? Guy asks you out. What would be the ideal situation? Take the guy out of the equation, but the actual date itself for a first date. What do you like?
I like to go out for a drink. I think that's easy. I'm not like it. I feel like sometimes men will ask to do like very extravagant things because they think I have to like add photos.
two, but just throw anything on there so that you can get to the Discover page.
Okay. We'll just post you guys.
That's fine. That works. Or you might be reported as a catfish.
Oh, does that happen?
Yeah, but we'll take care
As
of
long
you.
as you change them later once you leave.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like guys think that women want really extravagant things, and women may do, but I feel like those women are crazy.
Yeah, that's a great screener.
Yes.
From the beginning. Like
Yeah. Like I would just love to go on a date.
Well, that's part of the reason why we made the app this way was the more formal you make a first meeting, the more pressure it puts on everybody. And a drink is just such a casual thing that you could do with an easy out. All right, let's see.
I literally put you guys on this.
Okay. All right, we got Jim.
Ooh,
Jim
older man.
looks like a
let me
zaddy.
see. Let me
Jim
see.
does
I
look
love
like
that
a
you
zaddy.
just learned what a
He kinda looks
zaddy
like
is.
Steve Kerr a little bit.
He does.
Wait,
Ooh.
also I love
All right,
that.
and I want
Okay,
you
see, this is
snorkeling.
so classic. I feel like people love looking like you're taken. Okay, but people like my married friends, they love going on apps to just see.
Window
for
shop.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Window
All right,
shop.
so wait, you know what we're going to do?
Yes.
We're going to
What?
tell you
Okay.
what Jim has to say
Okay.
without showing you what he looks like.
But
Okay.
she already knows our reaction though.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
Kerr.
Or
Ready?
we got a
I'm
good
down
poker.
for
We might have a good
Steve.
poker face.
Okay.
Okay, so it's Jim.
Okay.
We're not going to give you an age or anything. He did go to Indiana University. He's a consultant.
No job.
His bio says Midwestern clean-cut guy with a California aesthetic, love working out, dominate, swim, bike, run, hike, sup? What's sup?
I don't know. I mean, it must be some sort of
And
like.
chill.
It must be some sort of
First
extreme
photo?
activity.
Is just selfie
He
of
just
him.
like can
Then
he
he's got
just
a snorkeling photo.
The quote,
Like, what's the quote?
His quote is, "The best way out is always through."
which we do. How many do we provide? Like 40 quotes.
Yeah.
So you can
maybe
pick
more.
one if you
Oh,
want.
okay.
So it's supplied quotes. So he didn't make that up. He chose that from a list of 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ask me out for a drink if you like brown liquor. First round's on me if you're from the Midwest. My favorite bar is Grandmaster Records. All right, so what do we think?
I mean,
I could
just feel like he does so much. Like, does he like to just chill?
Did you set it for
Well,
that you're a
well-
female, by the way? Because
I think so.
okay, just checking because I could see him being gay, but possibly I don't know. I'm not.
No, I
But
actually
he does
feel,
have and
okay.
chill in his bio.
And chill. I mean, yeah, he sounds great. The first round's on me. I will say I used that unintentionally with the Dave Ramsey thing. I said first round's on me if you're blocked by Dave Ramsey too.
Oh.
And that line killed it.
So,
Love that.
so
Just so you know.
Also,
No.
he used the wrong your.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Did he?
that's a
No,
deal breaker
nope,
for
that's
me
a deal
for sure,
breaker.
yeah.
So Hinge
Like-
came out with an article based off of the prompt "First rounds on me if," and it's a very elaborate article. And I don't know if it was People Magazine or something like that, and it explained the prompt, and it kind of explained our app.
Oh, amazing.
And then it was like, oh, well, we created the best prompt app ever.
yeah, you did.
All right, so what are we gonna do with Jim?
Okay, now let me see what he looks like. No. Wait, okay, you didn't say his height.
We don't want to give too much out.
5'7".
I want you to get to know the guy
left
first.
some
That means he's
imagine-
like 5'5",
True.
right?
I say 6 feet, and I'm 5'11" and 1/8.
I love that you're like, I also lie. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'm short, so tall women get mad if I'm like with the tall guy. They'll be like, they would be mad. If I dated you, they would be like, you're short, you're taking one from us. Like, sorry. Okay. Do you want to do no?
We'll do one. Yeah, we'll do another one.
We'll do one more.
Did you? She saw Jack though. I think.
Did you
I
see
didn't see
Jack?
him.
Okay.
Okay, so we got Jack, 35.
Oh, no.
Okay.
All right.
No, I was gonna say we got another.
He's
I thought-
ugly?
it's a UC Santa Cruz, not a UC. Santa Barbara, but
okay.
I got excited for a
Says
second
Oh.
he's 6 feet.
because he's 35.
Okay.
So he's
so
probably
5'11"
5'11" and
and a-
1/8.
yeah.
Yeah.
1/8. Do you guys really measure like that?
That's how
So
we
it's
measure our
funny.
penises. Yeah.
Did you do that before? Was there this whole discussion around 6 feet men? Did that cause
Well,
you
he
to
does
measure?
the opposite, which I guess he has the luxury to do. He rounds down.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Oh, so you must get a lot of matches on
I
that.
get zero. I get zero invites. I get like zero.
We need to work on your profile.
I
then.
probably
yeah.
do. I have a couple
We'll show you his
selfies.
profile
Okay.
after.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's when you play basketball.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
like the old thing of how everyone heightens their
Right.
in their bio, right? So like growing up, we would always pretend we were taller than we are because you were 6'6" in high school
6'7".
on the.
in high school.
So
when
you
I was
guys were like best friends in school? you?
My brother was.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
and like
she's
our
3 years
families
younger than me.
grew up
Okay.
together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Look
But
at you
yeah,
now.
we
But yeah, I actually do size down because I'm 6'5" and 3/4, so I just say
Okay.
6'5".
My roommate's 6'1". She's single.
Okay.
wow, 6'1"
Played
woman
basketball at UCLA.
And it will say
at UCLA.
guys
Wow.
also will add like 1/8 of an inch to like a penis measurement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
no one's gonna
We
round
know
down
that.
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe even the half. Yeah. Just to
No one's gonna round down.
So Jack, okay, we got 35, 6 feet. He lives downtown. Okay, his bio. I know all the states and capitals. Love hip hop and sports.
Okay.
He had
That's
the
hard.
prompt
It's
with
hard to
no
explain.
answer, and that's really it. He's got
Wow, he sounds fascinating. He
He's
can name Alabama,
Jewish
Arkansas.
liberal who drinks sometimes.
Oh, I like that kind of.
He's Jewish.
Jewish liberal who drinks one. That's like a good descriptor. Is he bald?
No, he's got a nice head of hair.
Okay.
He lives downtown. I don't know about that.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Why don't we just click yes on Jack?
Okay, but he's gonna see the photo is you guys.
Well, you should have put the right photos.
Okay, I'll see. It's funny because I have to no. See, this is great. I love the app because you have to ask them out. All of my friends are gonna love this. Every woman in Nashville is gonna love this because the Peter Pans can't get away with what they're doing.
This is why we made it.
Yeah, great.
We made it for women. It's not by women, but it's by men for women.
Yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So when are
Let's-
you coming to Nashville?
I know that I've been seeing behind the scenes there's some discussions of some things happening.
Yeah,
with,
like
with
our
you, right?
Our
Yeah.
plan originally was to launch in LA. We have New York starting next week.
Yes.
Basically this week, next week.
Very cool.
Then we're going to go to Miami. But if Cassidy puts on such a great event, and
Yes.
if you're going to
Yeah,
be
we
there as
texted
well,
today.
then amazing. So
Yeah.
if you're going to be there, then we're gonna fast track Nashville for sure.
Yes.
So,
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so we're
Very
excited.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, I want to show Kristina your profile.
Yeah, let's look at yours. Let's judge yours. It's great.
Judge away. I actually, so I don't even have a lot of photos.
Okay,
so there's-
when was your last girlfriend? I love doing this.
10 years ago? 11
Okay,
years
10
ago?
years ago. Okay. And,
Where are we at here? Okay.
and have you dated?
You
how long have
can't use it in
you
there.
guys been in LA?
Well, she can see my profile.
Him 4 or 5 years, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like dating in LA?
I don't go on a lot of dates actually.
Yeah. I feel like we're similar. Okay. I'll tell you what. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, give me the honest
I'm
truth.
I'm 35.
Rip the Band-Aid
I'm
off.
6'5". For that, already, I feel like women, everyone I know, well, because they're tall. A lot of my friends are really tall, which is funny. They're like, oh, 6'5", great. Head of content and biz dev stuff.
Unemployed.
Oh my God. The first boy I ever liked was from Staten Island.
No,
way.
we have to get
Yes.
into that.
Okay, you guys. I found
Same
him.
age range as you,
Yeah.
kind of.
His name was Louis.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Louis, Frankie, Joey.
I knew him. I met him at church camp, obviously.
But where
Where was
was
that
she?
at?
Where,
Pennsylvania,
Okay.
called Blue Mountain.
but why were you in Pennsylvania?
That's where the Christian camp was.
So you're
That's
from
where I met-
LA to.
Oh
You're
no, I was. I lived for like 10 years of my life in Princeton, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right through that. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that. It's on my bio. But yes, and so then I loved Louis, and I made my mom drive me to Staten Island. I was like 12 or 13. Made my mom drive to try to find him.
What do you mean to try and find him?
Now I think about it, I'm like, that's a great mom.
How old were you when you?
It was me and my friends. 12, like 12.
Okay, so this is like
So in like
AOL days, early
yes,
AOL.
AOL
and
days.
AMC.
And I remember I called him, like I wrote a script.
So
and
you
would, like,
left
call the
camp.
house. Yeah.
Didn't speak to him for a little bit.
I called him on his house phone.
But this is while you're still in camp, or camp
No,
had
I
ended?
left camp, went back to Princeton, was like
Okay.
in school. We had each other's house phone numbers because there were no cell phones then.
Okay.
There are people, Gen Z will not understand this story because they're like, you didn't have a cell phone.
It's
I'm like,
so
no.
funny how our parents would say we didn't have TV, and we're like, "Oh, shut up!"
Right.
And now they're like, "We be like, oh, we didn't have a cell phone."
Yeah.
They're like, "What?"
And like I couldn't go online if my parents needed the phone, like
And it made
they
too
needed
much noise at night
dial-up.
'cause of the dial-up.
dinging. Yes. I have plenty of stories that like I would try to like connect with men in chat rooms and be like,
ASL?
yes.
What's ASL?
Age, sex, location.
Question mark.
Not like sex like male or female.
You know what?
Not like yes or no.
So, not to sidetrack, but going back to those times, me and my brothers, I have 3 brothers, there's 4 of us,
Yes.
kind of all in the same age group.
Yeah.
We virused up about 10 laptops because
Yes.
if you go on a porn website back then, you get the virus. Like the virus like actually comes into the computer and ruins it. And like the whole family shared the laptops.
Yeah.
So my mom would keep buying these laptops. And then after a couple of weeks, she'd be like,
Like the Dells.
another laptop is down. What's going on?
That is so
And
funny.
then she finally, I guess, dug into it. And she sat us all down and she was like, listen, you guys have cost me so much money buying 10 laptops. And I know that you're virusing the computer with all this porn. So I don't know what you're doing, but figure out another way to do what you're doing.
That's so funny because I did that with LimeWire.
Oh,
yeah.
LimeWire,
From
yeah.
downloading music.
Napster.
Yeah, Napster. Yeah, and there'd always be like weird sounds in the song, and you're like, that's fine. That's at least I have the song. And now people don't understand that because you get everything for free or like
Yeah.
$10. I'm like, no, we suffered. We labored really hard and ruined multiple laptops to listen to one song or watch.
Oh, it took
people have
hours to
sex.
download a song.
Yes.
And then we had to
Or-
or make
yeah.
a CD.
Yeah.
Wait, back to Louis though. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Same age? Because that's obviously right around my age. So
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Same age. And I got his house phone number. He gave it to me. I gave him mine. He didn't call mine, so I called his. And like his mom picked up, and I'm like, "Hi, is Louis there?" And I remember I wrote down the script of what I wanted to say. That's how much anxiety I had.
No.
As an anxious
As
child.
a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I
That's
was
impressive
anxious.
though.
The anxiety is
No,
impressive.
no, that you wrote down what you wanted to
Oh.
say.
Yeah, I mean, I had a plan. And
You're so progressive. You'd have anxiety as a 12-year-old. You know, I love that.
yeah, honestly.
Way ahead of the trend
right,
there.
Right. So I called him and then we like joked around and I was like convinced myself I was in love with him. This could be why I'm still single, honestly.
maybe he is too.
Maybe. No, so I did find him.
Ah.
I feel like on
Wait,
this
you
podcast.
found him that day when you drove to Staten Island?
No, like a few months ago.
What?
Wait,
yeah, I looked him
time
up.
out.
Yeah, I swear to God.
So what happened the day that you went to Staten Island?
that I what?
That you drove to Staten Island with your
Oh
mother?
yeah, we just drove around. We didn't
What do you
find
mean
him.
you just drove around?
My mom just drove us around.
Time out,
Staten
wait,
Island.
wait.
Well, that's a great wingman right there. But
Wait, time out. You said, Mom,
Yeah.
Louis lives in Staten Island. I want to drive to Staten
Yes,
Island to find Louis.
with my friends.
And your mom looked at you and said, okay.
Yeah, because it was like, oh, maybe she'll get married. Like that was like, you know,
So wait,
it's like 12 years old.
logic
You're
checks
like,
out.
this is amazing. So
yeah, so
just
from Princeton to Staten Island, which is probably like
good 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Okay.
So that we
But
drove
what-
around.
But what do you mean you drove around? What does that mean?
We like drove past like 7-Elevens and like maybe
Was he
and I'm
Indian?
like I'm like maybe he's in there. What?
Was he Indian?
No.
Why'd you go at 7-Eleven?
No. He was like a white or like Italian guy.
But why
Italian.
7-Eleven?
I just
Just remembers it.
as a kid, I was like, this
Probably
is
got a
what I want to
Slurpee.
do. And my mom
How long until you gave up?
it was like hours. We drove around. I think I like kind of knew maybe what area, like
Okay.
1 square mile. But if you think about it, yeah, it's insane. I feel like I sound insane this entire
No, it-
podcast episode.
it
By the
sounds
way,
romantic.
people are going to be like,
No,
who
it sounds
did you bring
romantic.
on? You're just going to have an event. Like, absolutely not. Yeah. And, we didn't find him. We drove around and like drove by houses. Like I remember driving by houses being like, maybe he lives there.
Did you knock on
I
him?
had no plan. No, I wasn't. It's like stalking at that point.
Oh, at that point, it's stalking.
Nah, you can't. You're 12 years old. That's fine. It's like a.
And no, so I randomly was like, oh, maybe I can find him on Facebook. I like don't even have a Facebook anymore, but I was like, I'm gonna get back on it to
So
find
he's been on your
Louis.
mind for 20 years.
No, no, I randomly just thought about him. I think someone brought up this camp recently, and I was like, "Oh yeah, oh my god, that's like where I was like in love with Louis." We drove around Staten Island, so he works at the CVS photo section
Wait, in
In
New
Staten
York?
Island?
in
New York?
Staten Island. Still, he's still there. Do you know him?
I don't
Wait,
know.
CVS New Dorp.
in Staten Island.
Okay.
Do you want to drive there?
No, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
We're going to be back in New York next week. We're going to the CVS in New Dorp, and we're asking for Louis, and we're going to ask Louis if he remembers you. Did you get in contact with him?
I think he'd remember me.
So you didn't get
We
in
said he's
contact?
No,
married.
absolutely not. I think he.
Can we get a last name?
No,
Well, we're going to get it.
I don't want to like get arrested.
Why would you?
I'll give it to you after.
stalked Staten
Okay,
Island
okay.
for him.
I absolutely.
I mean, there's a really good chance we know who he is, just because Staten Island's such a small place. Like, not that we're gonna be best friends with him, but we're gonna be like, oh, I
feel like-
know
I don't know
that
if he's
guy.
married. He may have like baby mama.
Okay.
But it was a CBS photo. That's what it said on Facebook.
Wow.
You should
I aimed
take
high.
some photos of yourself and send them to that store to get developed, and just see.
But now we're gonna drive around to all the CVS's, go to all the photos.
No, it's New Dorp.
No, I said that. I don't know if it is, but I know
Oh.
there's a fairly attractive guy that works at the CVS.
He was attractive. He was
photo
attractive.
shop in New
I don't
Dorp.
mean this was 20 years ago.
Oh, so it's not New Dorp.
It might be, but we don't know that for sure. But there's probably only like 10 CVS's on Staten Island.
So I'm gonna be the breadwinner of the family, I guess. And
This is so exciting.
Probably. But you get
Talk about like
discounts.
a success story.
Yeah, if we can do this for the app.
Oh my god.
Not for you, just for us for the app.
What are
but-
those shows where like the cold cases, they undo the cold cases?
Yeah.
or you know, like Overheard LA Misconnection.
Yes.
Oh,
This
This
is like
is-
the ultimate misconnection.
This is-
But I don't know if it's missed. I think he chose not to call me, right? But
How do you know? What day of the week was
So
it?
many things
I
could
don't
have went
know, I
wrong
was
back
12.
then. Maybe he had a big brother or sister that like
he did.
teased him and didn't give him the message,
Or it
like,
was
what-
Sunday and like
Yeah.
he had Sunday
Family
dinner.
dinner,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
I think
think
we
so.
got something here. I'm
It's
excited.
exciting.
Yeah.
Really happy about this. I'm sure my mother in heaven is really happy too. She's like, I always knew you and Louie.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
So you're gonna be living in Staten Island. Full circle.
Yeah.
Look
Okay.
at that. I'll get to pass on from since I will have met the love of
Oh
my
my
life.
god, no! This story is gonna turn into a movie, and the app's gonna be an afterthought because we're gonna
It'll be
be.
all found out on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, what else we got, Joe? Do you want to finish critiquing my profile?
Yeah.
Because
let's look at
I'm
that.
interested
Yeah.
just to see, because I don't put much stock into it. I
Drink sometimes. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Great quote for a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you change that because you knew I was going to be here?
my phone was back there.
Tequila. Great. Love that too. Let's make sure we agree on the importance of being kind, thoughtful, and considerate. And Oxford commas. Love that.
Love it.
What's
I know,
Oxford commas?
honestly, you're not cool.
What is
kidding.
that? I'm not. He knows all these things, and I'm just like,
It's like so if you like list 3 things in a row or more, but 3 things in a row, like I'm going grocery shopping for milk, bread, and bananas.
yeah.
It'd be a comma after bread. So it's like some people would write milk, comma, bread, and bananas.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, the right way. The right way. There's only one right way. It'd be milk, comma, bread, comma, and bananas. That's an Oxford comma.
So that's the right way.
Yeah, in my mind, yes.
Oh,
That's an argument.
shit.
There's
Okay.
two
It's not
people.
necessary, but that's yeah.
Well,
She got
I'm
people.
open to change. So
We're gonna convert you.
wow.
Okay, don't pour a drink on me if you're not going to lick it off. Oh, choking.
Whoa, that's what you. Oh, wait, that does not have to do with choking. So your mind just went there automatically.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Are you sure
so I
on
feel
that
like,
date you didn't ask him if
do
you
you
like
want
choking?
like edgy Christian girls that like don't like they would be scared of this, but you probably don't want that.
He doesn't want an edgy Christian.
No.
girl.
You don't want edgy Christian.
don't
you
want-
want like a like.
I want no religion.
Okay.
Like yeah, no religion.
Okay. Do you want like?
Well, why don't you tell us what type of woman would like?
Okay, I
that
feel like this
profile?
is like the type of girl that would like this is like a cast member on Vanderpump Rules.
Okay.
Funny enough.
Did you date someone on it?
He was talking to somebody. It was
Oh.
Vanderpump Rules, right?
Great.
Yeah, we went out like last week.
No.
Look at
Dude.
I know what I'm talking about.
Wow. Between
That's
these
hilarious.
uncovered stories.
That's fucking.
You didn't tell me
hilarious.
this.
Good call. Yeah.
How'd that
Amazing.
go?
Oh, you were in New
Great
York,
show.
that's why.
Love
How'd
it.
it go?
Well, we had a good time. Yeah, we
Are you going to be on the show?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Why? It's
well,
so,
the season,
he's
the,
so
the
great.
recent season wrapped like last week. So, but yeah, we went out for a drink.
Where'd
and,
you go?
Nice.
Nice.
Barney's.
Yeah,
Okay,
Barney's
that's
Green
good.
Did you
It's
drink?
my spot. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
He's blowing my
I
mind. right
drink
now.
Look at this.
sometimes.
I know your type. Do I know your type or what?
I mean, I wouldn't.
That's
That was great, but I
You
don't
guys-
have a type.
Okay.
Like, there's no type.
Okay, what was the last girl you went on a date with, but before the Vanderpump Rules girl?
I would say she's an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she hot?
She's hot, yeah.
See, that's your type.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this your photo?
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. It's a great profile.
Thank you.
That's
So
good.
1 to 10, what's the profile? Not him. What's the profile?
What do you mean?
Like 1 to 10, what do you rate his profile?
Oh, his profile? Like a solid 6.
Nice.
Okay, that's good.
It's good.
That's sick neg, by the way.
The what?
That's a good neg.
6?
Yeah, give me a 6.
Yeah, 7. No, actually, I mean, no, it's good because you're going out obviously with people that like match. So that's like
No,
good.
it's not even through the app.
Oh,
Yeah.
how'd you meet her?
Probably the actual number 1 dating app in the world, which is Instagram.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's true.
She slipped into your DMs?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I slipped into hers.
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
This is all coming full circle because Vanderpump Rules is the biggest show in Staten Island, like the most watched
It
show.
is?
So if we can get you and Louie to watch Steve and this woman on Vanderpump, oh my God.
What if
This
he's
is
like,
gold.
it's a man?
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. This is like
So
full
question
circle.
for you.
Yeah.
You know, part of our
Lots of
show
water.
is, first rounds on me. So we like to ask our guests what their beverage of choice would be
Yeah.
to be accommodating. And we didn't get what you wanted because you wanted a Voss water, right?
Yeah.
So why so specific? And like Voss is associated with a certain type of life, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Why-
her LA side coming out.
Yeah,
for
why
sure.
the
Right.
Voss water?
I'm actually a water snob. So
And I guess
like-
Voss is the snobbiest of the waters, right?
Right. So like I only drink like smart water or essential water.
Oh, so the smart water was good.
Smart water.
good backup?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good backup.
It looks like you're really enjoying it.
Yeah. I thought you wanted like the photo.
No, they're not paying us anything.
Okay,
It's
great.
just for yeah.
Oh, I worked at a private jet company when I lived in LA, and they only had Voss water on the planes, and so then I drank it because we would like load the plane and take stuff off, and so then I got used to Voss water, and after you drink Voss water, you don't go back like
So
you
it
can't,
does-
go
so-
back, yeah.
you can't do like Dasani. Like I
So it
hate all
tastes
that.
different.
Oh God, Dasani.
I feel like it just tastes. It tastes like expensive,
And the glass bottle too. I mean,
right?
yeah.
But also, I was making a joke. I was like, I would die if I came up and you guys had Voss water. Like, I don't know. It just was like, that'd be
I
funny.
tried to get it, but I guess I could have went to Erewhon and got it, but
Right, it's not
It's
easy
right there.
to get either.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
I actually told him IPA. I was like, oh,
Which IPA? Like any IPA?
like IPAs, yeah. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the edgy Christian drinker with the two guys drinking water.
No, I would have joined you.
Oh.
I would never leave someone by themselves. No way.
But I
I
love
would.
my water.
I would. I would have left you. Drink
that's
it by
fair.
yourself. Yeah.
Well, the Vanderpump Rules.
Not on
will
a
come
date.
save you.
Not on a date, but just on the podcast. But yeah, I think my biggest expense right now in life is probably canned and bottled water.
Totally.
Liquid Death,
Absolutely.
Topo Chico.
Yeah. Oh, I had Liquid Death for the first time.
The
last-
sparkling or the
No, yes, the sparkling.
Okay.
I don't like sparkling water, but
Oh, I love sparkling
no,
water.
I don't like it. It's like TV
love it.
static. No, it's like
It's what?
it's like TV static in your mouth.
It's a party in your mouth.
I like
Yeah.
it. But it ruins my stomach. So
Liquid water,
sparkling water.
sparkling water.
Yeah, like all the carbonation.
But Liquid Death, I was like, this is such an intense
Better than Voss.
name.
Oh.
Like it's an intense thing
They got a
going
good
on about
marketing
water.
campaign.
Yeah.
Murder
It's-
your thirst. That's what they say.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I feel like that's scary.
It's a little scary. Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean, they
little
got
scary.
I think a skull on there too.
We should do like a Halloween party, murder your single life.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Right?
I'll go as Dahmer's hot right now, right? Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That'd be fun.
Actually, I've heard people can't even get through the episodes because it's so disturbing. And
Hannah and I started watching the first episode. Halfway through, she just like, "Can you turn this off?"
Yeah, I've heard
And
it's
I was like,
rough.
"All right."
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? How long are you here for in LA?
Wednesday.
So
say
about a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going on any dates while you're here? Just to remember why you left.
I'm gonna go on a date with Jack.
We would love for you to put that to use.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it to use. What if I document my date?
That'd be amazing.
So we would be honored to have some content and some video behind.
Watch Louis come up. He's like, I'm in LA.
Oh no, we're doing a whole series, like a Netflix series on Louis, for sure.
Great. Yes, I will use the app while I'm here and meet the love of my life.
Until you get.
Would you move
Louis.
back for him or
No.
her? Okay.
He's gonna move for me.
Okay.
He's gonna submit.
So are
to
you
me.
happy in Nashville in terms of like wanting to stay there
I
a long
love
time?
Nashville.
Okay.
I'm very I have a great community there. Yeah, I have great friends.
So let's talk about the comedy a little bit.
Yeah.
So what are you working on? What do you do
Yeah.
as far as comedy goes?
So I was always a writer. Like I have a book coming out. I was always writing. I wrote for other people. I signed with an agency, and so I never thought that I would perform comedy. And then I did about maybe 4 years ago, like 2 years before the pandemic. So it's kind of hard. Timing, I feel like, is so weird
all
with the
fucked
pandemic.
up,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I loved it. And then I started getting into it, and then the pandemic happened. So there was no stand up. I had an audience in Nashville. I visited a lot. And I started performing my stand up, and I'm like a late night style talk show host. So on social media, I do and podcasts, I do bits where it's like the news, and I'm telling the news, but I do all my jokes, right? About the
Oh, that's
news.
cool.
And I'm progressive, and I just go after certain things and people.
Who is your favorite late night host of the past like 20 years, like the 2000s? If you could either work with one or interview one or
Yeah.
emulate one, kind of, who would be your favorite?
I love Trevor Noah. I love I watch a lot of John Oliver right now.
Stephen Colbert just came
I
out
love-
with
yeah, Stephen
it's
Colbert is
called
great.
Toonish or Tuning In, and it's like him as a cartoon doing the news.
Yes. I love David Letterman.
I'm a huge
Yeah,
David
like
Letterman
how
fan.
can you not?
Even though he cheated on his wife.
Did he?
Did he?
Oh, it was a huge scandal.
When?
Yeah, but apparently they may have had an arrangement or that was a cover. No one knows the truth.
I
but
feel like I did
that was a big
remember
story
this.
back in like probably the
Yeah.
early 2000s. Maybe.
The Daily Show I always loved, like Jon Stewart.
Jon
Amazing.
Stewart's great.
Yeah. So
I don't
kinda
like. I think Oliver just pushes way too many. I just like when I watch late night, I want to watch something fun.
yeah, he's intense. He's
Yeah, he
like
pushes a
super
lot of
intense.
agendas, and
I
I'm
can
not
only
saying-
watch like some of them, but if I want just like late night, like that, yeah, Jon Stewart,
Yeah,
Letterman,
okay.
like all those, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you were kind of like the person in Funny People, like isn't that how Funny People was?
Seth Rogen's
Seth Rogen was the writer
Yes.
for Adam Sandler, and so that's the kind of writing you did for other comedians.
I did, yeah, for just different ghostwriting, yeah, and then I was like, I actually want to go as myself on the internet, so I did, and then I posted my content, and then people liked that, and then I always had a real job, like I never, the writing was a side gig, and then. Now in Nashville, I love it because I do like a variety show. So I do stand up, I have musicians, we do like games, but like
And
audience interaction.
Oh, so this is at like a venue or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's hugely successful, really fun, a good time. And it's just easy there because it's smaller. So LA is so big and
Yeah.
expansive, but Nashville, like I have a great community and I know the culture really well. It's very easy to tap into for what I'm doing. So I have great people. Yeah.
Can you give us a sneak peek on a joke you're working on?
A joke I'm working on.
little teaser.
A little teaser. Let me think.
Or a
No
favorite.
pressure.
It doesn't have to be from the book. It could be.
It's hard to think like
favorite.
on the.
Yeah, I know.
On
Tell
the
us a joke.
spot.
Tell us a joke.
No, I wrote a thing about like I like my men, like I like my cleaning supplies, non-toxic, stuff like that.
Okay.
Little dainty little
Okay.
dating jokes.
Love
but
it.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite stand-ups?
I love Pete Holmes. I love I saw like Pete Holmes, Bill Burr,
Bill Burr is great.
Oh God, they were so funny. I saw them in the pandemic in an alleyway in LA. They turned it into like, it was funny. They advertised it as LA's newest club. And I was like, this is going to be a shit show. And it was in between two buildings, and they had like made a makeshift comedy club. And Bill Burr gets on stage, quote unquote, and it was just kind of like a table. I don't even know what it was. It just was a makeshift stage. And he was like, I cannot believe this is the pinnacle of my comedy career. And you just hear like the sirens outside, like someone getting arrested, like, but it was an awesome show. I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
I know, like
Dave
people
Chappelle.
got there, but
No, I like Dave Chappelle.
he's just.
What's
so
your
good.
take on Louis C.K.?
I have a joke about Louis C.K. So there's a comedy club in Nashville, and Louis C.K.'s face is on the side of the building, painted. So they have like comedians painted on there. And the hockey team in Nashville is called the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
So I have a joke about someone was like, oh, have you performed at this comedy club? And I'm like, oh, is that the one that has Louis C.K.'s face on the side? Like, yeah. I'm like, oh, is that why it's called the Nashville Predators? And that's what I think about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think prior to the scandal he was funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's not funny anymore? You don't like him anymore?
I never loved him because I'm not like, I loved like Norm Macdonald. I love like a lot of dry humor.
So what about Jerry Seinfeld?
I love Jerry Seinfeld.
I watched
I love-
23 Hours to Kill
Yeah.
a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. It's
I mean,
gold.
it's just you just have to be funny in order to just stand there and tell jokes in a fairly monotone voice, you know?
And I feel like you have to be so comfortable to like, he does everything so perfect. Like delivery.
Yeah.
Just
It's just
the whole
everything.
skit, like from start to finish, there's not an awkward pause. There's not a joke that goes the wrong way. It's just for an hour straight, perfect.
I know. And it's fascinating. Like I find it fascinating. I honestly haven't watched a lot of Louis C.K., but I don't remember a ton before, but I think yeah.
Who's the blonde female that's really funny?
Eliza,
Ellen DeGeneres?
No.
Chelsea?
No,
Handler?
Nikki
no,
Glazer?
no.
I saw her. I saw
She was in the
Chelsea.
movie with LeBron. No, with Bill Hader.
Oh.
Kelsey
Amy
Cook?
Schumer.
Amy Schumer.
Oh, not a huge fan.
No, it's because she's really raunchy, right?
I love like intellectual comedy, I think.
Okay.
So I love things that are like make you think. And Amy Schumer doesn't make me think. I think she's a good stand-up comic because she does what she does well. It's just not my taste. But that's the beautiful thing about comedy is there's something for everyone, and it doesn't like we don't all have to like the same.
That's
We're
like
obviously
dating.
not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and we don't have to actively dislike it either. We just
Yeah,
leave it, right? That's the
Yeah.
beauty about life. If you don't like something, you can just leave it alone.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also dated a comedian, so I feel like
How'd that go?
not great. I feel like comedians, they do have mental problems. Like we're like, my mom died and that's how I got into comedy. Like I had anxiety and depression. So like the truth
So it made you feel
is,
better to like be like it distracted you.
It allowed me an outlet to be able to talk about things that are hard to talk about. So I think there's an element where comedians can be very unhealthy emotionally,
Yeah.
unhealthy mentally, because like it's a high to get the laughs. And then you go home. And so people who like just do it for the laughs, it's so unfulfilling. That's why I love my job too outside of that, or else I don't think I could do it. Like it would just, it's
So-
hard to be a performer like that.
So it brings an interesting thought into my head. Like, so Pete Davidson uses his dad in his comedy,
Yeah.
which when I first
Yeah.
heard that, I was like, holy shit. Like how does he make
Love
fun of
Pete
his
Davidson.
dad?
Yeah.
I didn't like him at first, and he like really grew on me
He
over
does.
time.
I know.
But it was so shocking to me that he made fun of his dad dying. Like, have you ever done that? And how would you feel about doing that, or when he does that?
I did it last week.
Really?
Yeah, my show last week, I talk a lot about my mom, and I talk about, she was scary. I called her Sherry was scary. Like, and I talked about just 90s moms. They were different, like especially religiously. And And so I talk about her, but I also feel like I'm honoring her in a way because it's a way for me to talk, like express stories about her. But yeah, it's dark humor, and that's why comedians do it, because it's like it allows like a relief to be able to talk about these things. And there's an audience for it because everyone has had, a lot of people have had a parent who's died.
Yeah.
So you get it.
Yeah, and I think you kind of just get it, but I think Pete specifically, you can tell he honors his father and loves his father and everything that he does.
Which is why he grew on me.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
and even like his whole last Netflix special was dedicated. It was called SMD.
Yeah.
Obviously a little double entendre, but his dad's initials, and it was all for him. So there was never any. I think it'd be way different if someone was just coming out and like, you get it.
No.
So yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
not
You have
knowing
to
him or
be good at
comedy.
it.
Yeah, and when I first heard him say it, not understanding the context behind it, I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, how do you just say that?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So when it comes to the parameters, right? Like obviously in today's world, we're in a different era, right? Where people are a little more sensitive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel that comedians should be able to just make light and joke about anything? Or do you think some things are off limits?
Yeah. I think it's about punching up and not down. So it is easy to get on a stage and make certain kinds of jokes. Like it's because there are things that are just inherently funny. So getting up and like kind of anybody could really do it. But saying something, that's why I love Chappelle, because Chappelle will offend every single person in the room, but then he'll bring it home to a point of something that makes you think.
Right.
And it actually unifies the audience because everyone is collectively laughing about something you didn't think you could laugh about.
Right.
And it makes you think. So I think that comedians should be allowed to bring up the uncomfortable things because that's comedy. I do think that if you're just being a comedian to like make jokes about race and you're not good at it, then you probably shouldn't do it.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that's what Dave Chappelle does, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
He is so he's so in tune with social issues, but then he'll also make fun of black people and white people and Jewish people, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But then he will explain the morality behind what's going on.
And obviously there's there's problems with certain things that people can say and do, and Chappelle is guilty of things too because he's a human being and he's not. And I did talk a lot to my LGBTQ friends like about it, and I heard them, and there were some that were like, no, I totally understand what like he's making a point about race or whatever. But that's the thing, is like these things are heated issues. So to talk about anything now, someone's going to get offended. But you have to decide like, who am I doing this for and why am I doing it?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of people that are traumatized from like leaving a religious experience. And so I'm going to, do comedy around the institutions, which makes me a target ultimately, especially as a woman, but I love it.
Yeah. That's great. And yeah, I feel like you said, someone's going to get offended by anything, right? Everything. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I always ask, like, why don't you get offended by this or that? And it's like that people only really get offended by what they take personally, and which I get, but I think people need to step outside of that and look objectively at that it's comedy, or that's, I don't know. It's easier said than done, but that's how it should be ideally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you this. So you've talked about a little bit of like anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of comedians have kind of talked about their own anxiety or, being socially awkward or not liking people. How do you think most comedians like overcome that when it's time to actually get on stage and perform?
Yeah. I think a lot of comedians are introverts. So it's kind of like any other show business performance. I was absolutely terrified to get on stage. And then when I get on stage, I feel like I'm entirely myself because I feel like I can say and do whatever I want. And I have lived in such a constricted space or like spaces that I couldn't fully be myself. So actually the performing side allows me to be who I am entirely. And I think that's the same for a lot of performers and whatever. It's an expression, it's an art form. So you get to say what you've been wanting to say, and there's people listening. And so the anxiety side is like, it's like an anticipatory kind of anxiety. And
do you like channel that? Or how do you like leading up to actual getting on stage?
Yeah. I listen to a lot of music. I like write things down, and then you just practice. I think if people practice, then you feel it's like more comfortable. But if you, I also like to do improv, and improv is terrifying, but it's so good for your mental health.
Good improv
is fantastic.
I
yes.
went. What's the famous place over here? The Groundlings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So someone took me to the Groundlings,
Oh, my
and I
God.
didn't even know what I was going into. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
comedy. Like they would just come to the Groundlings. I didn't know what it was. So I was like, okay. So we go in, and it was some of the SNL cast doing improv. It was unbelievable.
I know.
Just how impressive they were.
It's so I feel like it's harder than stand up because you're it's in the moment, so you have to be really good at it. And
the audience will stay silent if you're not doing something funny. Like they're not just gonna laugh.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing with comics and improv.
Beef.
Yeah, definitely. And, or I mean, not like kind of like on the professional side, but like I know a lot of comedians that do improv too. Like I did improv, but because people argue which one is harder to do. But in my opinion, watching improv is incredible when it's good because you're like, how on earth are they doing this? You know, and that's good improv. Yeah.
What is your dream place to perform, and like where are you manifesting your comedy life?
Yeah. In Nashville, it would be the Ryman, which is the original Opry.
Okay.
So it's like
so the Opry changed?
The Opry exists, but the original was in the Ryman, which was a radio show. So it has incredible acoustics. So it's just a really epic venue. And it also used to be a church. So it's like pews. And then it has the most amazing acoustics. So I feel like that would be awesome. It's right there off of Broadway.
I foresee in your future when it's time to do your first special, a church, doing it in a church.
Yeah.
It has to be, yeah.
Dope, and just tearing the church apart and just having an audience in the, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And this, I mean, it looks like one's probably the Ryman.
And now, how many steps away from that are you? Like, can you get a call tomorrow and they say, are you performing at that place? And you're like,
Not yet, but I do feel like I can attain that.
Okay.
I mean, in LA, probably any of the epic LA, like the Hollywood Bowl, obviously would be like the most insane thing. But
so
that's
the Hollywood Bowl would be better than the Comedy Store or something like that?
Yeah, because that's the thing is like, because I work in a rehab, I have a lot of people who I work with or who follow who can't drink.
Okay.
And comedy clubs are not really conducive for non-alcoholic like things. So yeah, I would love obviously Laugh Factory, Comedy Store, but that doesn't actually get me as excited as like a large outdoor venue or
that's cool.
Yeah, especially because if you had that, they would be coming specifically to see you. Yeah.
Totally.
And,
yes.
Well, Chappelle got attacked at the Hollywood Bowl last year, right?
Yeah. I mean, all this
Scary
crazy
shit,
stuff. Chris Rock getting slapped.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Wild. It's a wild world out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got, Joseph?
I mean, I feel like we tackled a lot.
You know what it is? I didn't even realize we're going on like an hour and a half, which is so amazing because we're doing 2 hours now. We used to do 1 hour.
Oh wow!
And it's been amazing that
we could
you're
come
that
up with
interesting.
2 hours of content.
You're just very interesting.
Me?
Yeah.
I feel like we did a lot. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I guess like we know your book's coming out.
Yeah. Plug yourself.
Right.
For sure.
We know. I don't know your social handles.
Yeah.
And wherever you're performing, just let us know.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm like on the cusp of everything. It's like where I'm at right now. So I have 2 books that are going to come out. The first one is a self-published joke book, so I have the rights to all my books. All my jokes. That will be this year. So it's going to be like around the holiday time.
And like it'll be on Amazon or something.
It'll be everywhere. I'm kind of right now there, even with self-publishing, you shop things because there's like a whole world now out there for self-publishing. And then the second one is through a publisher, and that's a comedic memoir.
Oh, nice.
So it's great that you find me interesting because
yeah.
And that will be in like a few years.
Is Louis mentioned in the memoir?
Oh, no, but you know what? I absolutely will now.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I
think-
don't think your story's over yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
Yeah.
more to be written on the Lily story.
Yeah, the rest is still unwritten.
Yeah.
And also, I heard that you and Steve are creating some content together.
Yes, we're gonna do reels.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And then-
funny reels.
Yes. And then who knows? Like when we do this Nashville event, maybe we'll come through.
Yes, that'd be amazing. I would love that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, Kristina, this has been awesome.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
So you're at
So at edgy Kristina Hart on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Edgy
And
Kristina
I
Hart.
have a podcast called That's Super Weird.
That's
Oh.
super, which also can be found in your Edgy Kristina Hart bio.
Yes. Yeah. I'm the largest like following I have is on Instagram. That's where I post the most, and you can find everything else on there.
Amazing.
Yay.
All right. Thank you, Kristina. This has been
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course.